Aries, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early July 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aries collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here, my guides. Talk to me. What do we have for the Rams here in early July? We are moving right along through the year. What energies, messages, insights can we share with the good Aries collective? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aries. Early July, new month, new energies, hopefully. Let's see what's going on. Guides, real quick, please. There we go. Thank you. Ask and you shall receive. Hey, we got our good friend here, Mr. Bookhead. I haven't seen him in quite a while. Big page energy, and this card always amuses me. It puts a smile on my face. I'll explain that. I mean, if you're a long-time watcher, I'm sure you've seen this guy a time or two. But before we fully get into that card, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the July subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know what, greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk about our good friend here. So if you look at the image, we have this young individual is holding books. There's books all around him. He has books for a hat, books for a damn necklace, and I always call him Mr. Bookhead, and it always gives me the vibe of the Page of Pentacles. Now, for some Aries, there might be some sort of knowledge you're thirsting for or yearning for. This is a big card of students, of learning things, and it doesn't always have to be like in a schoolroom setting. It could be career things and just absorbing knowledge. You could even be going down rabbit holes when this type of energy is in the mix. But as with all page energy, it could also represent new. So for a lot of Aries, you might be on the precipice of some sort of new cycle that you're moving into. Generally, there's a lot of hope and ambition when I have this type of card, and it's really nice. Now, as with all page energy, specifically the Page of Pentacles, this card is also a big messenger. So keep that in mind. There might be some sort of importance around communication and talking, whether it's just saying your piece, saying what you feel honestly, or just conversations you might be having. We'll see if that shows up within the reading itself, but that's a good start, right? So we're just going to put him down over there. He could chill there with his books. Let's get into tarot now. And I always say the first card here, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. Let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. So let's shuffle it up one time here. What do we have for my beautiful Aries friends in early July, please and thank you. And while we get this deck all shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. There was a bit of a bumpy road in the energy. The reading was titled An Unexpected Problem, and you know me, I'll never wish that on anybody. But for a good chunk of the people in the Aries collective, there could have been just little hurdles or roadblocks or things popping up out of nowhere that needed to be addressed. So keep your eye on that even going forward, because energy can bleed over for a couple of weeks. So we'll see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So only take this out hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're linked to. You know how it goes. Let's get these 3 cards out, though. Let's see what's going on. Early July for my Aries friends. Thank you. All right, Hierophant. Now, this card is usually very good. But I mean, it's one of the energies that can frustrate us as Aries. So if you're a new watcher, I'm part of the Aries collective myself. My Sun, Mercury, Venus, all sitting right there in Aries. And the Hierophant can be good. It's a very complex card, but it is just so sturdy. Let's get a couple more out here. Let's see. I mean, that could be good, depending, right? It all really depends. You know, every card has positives and challenges. Ace of Swords. So here's that communication we saw with our pal, Mr. Bookhead. Okay, we're going to have to look into that for sure. There's a big authoritative type of energy here as well, of some sort of authority figure. Let's get one more. We'll really start to piece this together. What do we got? Thank you. And we have the 2 of Cups. Partnerships could be important as well. Not just a romantic kind. It could be anything really, but when I see it next to Ace of Swords, there could be some sort of conversation of importance that I'm already picking up. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. So at first look, first glance, a little mixture of elements happening here, which could mean a lot of different things. We have earth, we have air, we have water. These 2 on the back end are big internal energies, so it does already feel like there might be a lot going on the inside for a lot of Aries here, but these could be separate situations. They don't all have to be one thing. So we're just going to go through piece by piece and really start to build this out. Position number one, we are starting with a very complex card. Okay, one of the most complex in the whole entire deck, and it's the Hierophant. So for a portion of you, it might just be easy. Maybe you're connected to a Taurus. Maybe you have Taurus placements, or you're close to that season. If that is not the case, this is an extremely sturdy card. Now, what are some things? I'm just going to list a whole bunch of different meanings that this could be. It could represent authority figures. It could represent big institutions. We're talking like government. We're talking corporations, all that kind of stuff. Religious institutions, religion in general. This is a highly spiritual card. It can also represent day-to-day life. So what you do on a day-to-day basis, your ritual, your routines. That's a big card when we see this. But I always say with the Hierophant energy, it is within the box. So it's like as normal, as usual, back to normal type of energy. So for some of you, if there's something you're trying to change, this could be a rough energy to deal with because it could be frustrating, it could be heavy, it could be stubborn. Okay, that's kind of the rough side of this Hierophant. It could also represent people that we have a very long history with. So we're talking like it's a card of celebration and marriage as well. So you see what I mean? There's so many different meanings to this Hierophant. So for some of you, it could be very good spiritual. It could be something nice that has a lot of long-term possibility. But at the same time, for a portion of you, it could just be an issue that you've been dealing with for quite a while, or something that's been sticking around. So we'll revisit that. The clarifier is going to be super important. Moving to the center, we have the Ace of Swords. Totally different vibe here. So all aces represent offers and opportunities, and this is the sword of truth itself. So whenever any ace shows up, it's really good. There might be something coming in to shake things up, especially if it's on the tail end of this Hierophant. The sword of truth comes in for a lot of reasons. You might be seeing things clearly. You might be communicating much more direct than you normally do. You ever hear the term speak your truth? This is a big card that represents that. It does have a harshness to it as well. So although it's honest, clear-sighted, clear-minded, when this card shows up, there might be certain things you're cutting away, and there might be certain things that you're cutting out when the Ace of Swords is in the mix. And it could also be cold. So in this time watch, I mean, as an Aries myself, I know that we have a tendency to be very blunt, right? If there's something we want to say, there's something we're thinking, we don't really have much of a filter. So in this time, your words might cut a little deep when this card's here. But literally, it could just be a conversation, talk, message. You know how it goes. It could be something very minor. It doesn't always have to be major. Okay? And we'll get more detail on that for sure. Now, on to the back end. We have the Two of Cups, a very good, easy flowing card. So when I see this, I would say all these cards do skew more positive than they do challenge. The Two of Cups, you see the two people there, they're sharing the cups together. Now, all twos in tarot represent choices, decisions, being at a crossroads of some kind. There might be a big highlight on someone you hold very near and dear to your heart. So whether that is romantic, whether it's a really good friend, whether it's a family member, this card is in the mix, literally. Now, if that's not the case, if we're not looking at the energy of someone you're closely connected to, there could be some sort of connection that Spirit wants you to, analyze a little deeper when this card's here. The negative aspect of the Two of Cups, usually in reverse, it could represent disharmony, where two people not seeing eye to eye, but we're not going to fully go that route until we get more detail. So let's do that. I want to go deeper. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here. Let's see what we got for the Aries collective, my guides. Early July, pardon me. Going back in time. And yeah, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Hierophant. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aries, you could drop it right down in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay. Why is the Hierophant here? Okay. Emperor in reverse. Okay, so for some Aries out there, this could be a power struggle of some sort. Or, this to me is like an unstoppable force meets an immovable object type of energy. So that could be something you might really want to keep your eye on here. Emperor in reverse, that's one of our cards, right? And the fact that it's showing up in reverse tells me there might be certain things that you might feel trapped by, whether it's duties you feel like you owe, or you feel like you have to do something, you have no real choice in the matter. It feels very Eight of Swords like to me. For some of you, if it's your routine, like it's even giving me cabin fever type of vibes. Now, I know as an Aries myself, it's not really good, especially if you're a cross watcher, to make an Aries feel cornered. You shouldn't make any person feel cornered. But to me, it's kind of feeling like for some Aries, the walls might feel like they're closing in a little bit. So we'll see how the rest of this plays out. Now, the Emperor has a lot of similarities to the Hierophant, right? Aside from being our card, it is an aspect of the divine masculine. It represents authority figures, people who have a say, people that control things and control their life. It's the big boss type of energy. And it's generally nice, but it is a card of control. And when I see it in reverse under another card that has those same similarities, there could be a power struggle. There could be some sort of conflict or issue. Okay, so we're going to see what this situation absolutely could represent, but I am seeing like two people at odds. Okay. Again, the first thing I said, if it's not a power struggle, like you might have real issues with authority in this time specifically. Like if you feel like there's someone that's not really fair in like a position of power, we're getting a lot of things. Let's keep moving forward. But I would say at the very least, this could be a situation where it's like two equal opposing forces are kind of meeting, if that makes sense. Let's keep going over to the Ace of Swords. If that's not it, some of you might just need to mix up your schedule, right? Like if you're feeling a little monotonous, if you're feeling a little bored, you might just need to switch something up because this is feeling claustrophobic. Let's go in on that Ace of Swords though. Let's see what that has. Quick, super, super quick. Okay. All right, so that classic Aries bluntness might really, really come to the surface here. Okay, and I'm getting a very intriguing vibe. We have the Seven of Cups in reverse underneath this Ace of Swords. So I feel like this message is splintering a couple different ways, so only take it how it hits for you. For a portion of you, if there is something you've been thinking or deciding on, whether it's a path, whether it's anything, the front runner or what you truly want, your optimal result, could really start showing itself in this time. So I could see an offer or opportunity coming in for a lot of you in a very big way, where it's like, okay, there were a lot of things that were similar. Now there's a clear front runner. Aside from that, the Ace of Swords and the Seven of Cups in reverse, I'm getting someone, let's get down to brass tacks type of energy. Like, we are going to talk about this. I'm going to tell you what it is. And this could be a very serious talk or conversation coming in, because let's talk about the Seven of Cups. Usually it is about options, choices, and paths. It's also daydreaming. It's all up in the mind, all up in the head. When I see it in reverse, it's like, all right, one choice, one direction. We're coming back down to planet Earth. So when I see it under the Ace of Swords, there is some sort of serious talk or communication coming in for sure. So we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, again, it might not be the easiest conversation to have or talk to have. I'm seeing these opposing forces in the front end. So let's keep moving forward to the Two of Cups and see what that has to say. But again, for some of you, if you have a lot of options and paths on the table, one really might start breaking away from the others and say, all right, this looks the best for me. This is kind of what I want, if that makes sense. Let's keep moving to the Two of Cups. Let's see why the Two of Cups is here. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the Two of Cups here? Okay. Again, okay. So this is a bit of a better conversation and communication. So this is the big theme. Ever since we had our good pal, Mr. Bookhead, and now we have so many cards of talking and communicating, we have the Eight of Wands. Now this has given me a couple different things. For a portion of you, you are attracting a specific individual to you magnetically. So I always say when I get that type of energy, like here it comes, here they come, I get that here with the Two of Cups, Eight of Wands. It's like someone's energy is moving towards you really quick, very rapidly. So keep that in mind. You might be pulling someone towards you even if you don't realize that you are. But aside from action, movement, and that fiery energy, this Eight of Wands is an extremely fast mover, and it is a talker. It's a very fiery back and forth. So once again, I have these two cards of communication and conversation. There's two routes you could go possibly, or two separate ones, because this one in the center is very strict, very straightforward. This one on the back is a little bit more explosive. So I feel like communication in one form or another, you might be more popular than you normally are, or you're going to have some really intriguing talks, because this one in the center feels like this is what it is, this is what it's going to be, very authoritative. This one on the back is more explosive, like there's a lot of back and forth, kind of like bargaining as well. So someone's chattering, all right, or someone's going to be chattering in a very big way. So we have a lot of stuff happening here in the first week of July here, Aries. So let's get this Eight of Wands back down where it belongs. Let's go through and do a quick little recap, then we'll get into the shadow card. So lots of things happening. Only take what's yours, of course. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we have the Hierophant and the Emperor facing off against each other, so to speak. So I did say it could be power struggles, it could be two authority figures, and I said an unstoppable force versus an immovable object. It was kind of giving me that vibe. So there might be a little bit of a clash between you and a power figure. A portion of you might need to shake up your schedule. You might need to shake up your routine in a big way, because there's something about this energy that might not be working for you in one way or another. Some of you also might feel like you owe a debt of some sort, or like there's something that you owe to somebody. It's like giving me an odd vibe here. Like there's a situation that's a little bit out of your control. Moving to the center, we have the Ace of Swords with the Seven of Cups in reverse. A big energy I'm picking up here was two main ones for a lot of you. If you have a lot of options and choices on the table, a clear-cut front runner could like move forward for you. So it's like, okay, now I know what way I want to go. So this could be a nice offer or opportunity coming in, but at the same time, I feel like this is a very strict, down-to-earth type of conversation, like very serious. Like, this is what we're going to do. This is how it's going to be. So the classic Aries bluntness could really come to the surface. Onto the back end, we have more communication. I did say for a lot of you, you could be attracting someone towards you extremely magnetically with the Two of Cups, Eight of Wands. So I did say, like, here it comes, here they come type of energy. But another vibe I'm getting, whereas this one's a little more one-sided in the center, on the back end, it's like a fiery, back and forth, explosive kind of talk where it could get kind of hot and heavy. So do with this information what you will, Aries. Please take a screenshot of that. Let's see what's in the shadows for you. And so let's shuffle it up one time, see what we have in the shadows for Aries. Guides and spirit team, talk to me. What do we have? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a bad thing. They could be very positive too. So let's get you one. And yes, if you've made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, shadow card time. What is in the shadows for Aries, please? Thank you. Okay, Seven of Wands. This could be a very independent style mindset. And again, Aries does have an independent streak to them. We have the Seven of Wands. And to share some inside baseball with you, this is a card I often get when I do personal readings, like for myself or when people read me. Now, the Seven of Wands could be really great. It's a determined type of card, like I can't stop, won't stop. So for some of you, your resolve might be checked in this time, all right? There might be some sort of test coming up for you, and it's like pass or fail. But I'm not fully going to go that route. This card could sometimes be a little conflicted, so there might be certain situations where your emotions are a little back and forth, where it's like you feel one way one second, the next you feel another. So conflicted emotions possible. But the one thing that I love about this energy is that it's not stopping. Okay, it's extremely determined. So aside from all the possible slights that we see here in the energy for a lot of you, if you're going through a trying situation, spirits are just telling you to dig deep, dig down, and use that classic Aries determination. Really nice. So we're just going to leave it at that, Aries. That's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the July subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The link is down below. But for the July subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of another one of my favorite decks, the Wizard's Tarot. Absolutely beautiful and works great. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, since I have the travel bug lately, let me know down in the comments what is the most beautiful place you visited in person. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.